Yo. Welcome back to the second part of the Casual Combo Show. We are having a general discussion right now. We are talking about the presidential race, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and everything else. I am the co-host, Boscoe from the Bronx. We got King Paul in the building and our host, Coco. Before we continue, why don't y'all hit the Ham Radio shop, hamradio.org/shop. Get your shirts, get your hoodies, get your hats, get all that stuff. Good quality. We've washed ours I don't know how many times, and they don't shrink it. We're not just saying that for the sale. We're saying that for the facts. Support the show, hamradio.org/shop. Get your gear, represent. That's how we do
We're not on Facebook right now, so we're only on YouTube.
Okay, if you're not on, okay, well, all right, that's cool.
No, it's not connected. I'm sorry.
Okay, on with the show. We're back. And you were talking about, I think Trump was talking about. Oh yeah. About how we might be going back. The people said, yo, every time he come in office, he only been in office one time. But basically by what he's saying and how he talks to his followers, and like I said, they do act like cultists, we might have a civil war. Like you said, Coco, January 6th was just a trial run, just a trailer, because they already think that they pound their chests with this bravado like they're all that. And I have a Trump friend. He's from the Bronx, same neighborhood I am, like, brother. And we don't even speak now. We're still Facebook friends, but we don't speak because of that, because I mentioned some things, but I had an excuse for every little thing. He would not take any accountability. But prior to that, we were going to have a little thing where I'm the independent and he's the conservative. We're gonna have a little talk. He's gonna have a podcast and invite me on it, talk a little bit. But we scrapped that because he doesn't see outside of Trump. He's like, I was so proud to take my daughter to a Trump rally. He started bringing up George Floyd. Said, yeah, because I had mentioned how Trump got shot in the ear and how they're wearing the bandage on the ear. He said, yeah, that's just like black people wearing dashikis for George Floyd. I said, wait a minute. We're talking two things. I said, dashiki is part of African culture. Now, but still, he was this. I said, he was this and that. I said, look, it doesn't matter what type of person George Floyd was. He did not deserve what happened to him. And see, that's the attitude I get from people from that side. They think if you're a piece of shit, you might have done something in your past, you deserve to die. And the problem with them is they act like, and I'm gonna say this about most conservatives, they act like they're the best Christians. They don't do any crime. They don't do any drugs. They are the only ones that work. Liberals don't work. And I always come back with them with this. I say, the blue states are the richest states. The red states are the poorest states. Who's working and who's not? Nah, but the Democrats said, no, you blame it. I see, like I said, I'm not Democrat nor Republican, I'm an independent. But I say the Democrats may do things to make people soft. I admit that. However, they will tend to try to level the playing field. I give them that. The Democrats will try to level the playing field. Whatever it takes to do it. I don't always agree with everything, but they try to level the playing field to where the Republicans like, they will eat their own just to get up here. But y'all can add to that.
How about jumping back to Trump?
Sure.
Because Trump in all my years of even knowing about this man has actually been a very poor businessman. And I think I first found out about him when he had the USFL with Herschel Walker and all them and stuff. He went broke doing that. Well, bankrupt. He filed bankrupt.
He's on the yeah.
So I'm saying, people don't realize this man here, he actually is broke. And he's got these people so swayed or whatever you want to call it on his spell cassette that they are paying for his lifestyle with all their contributions and donations.
Right.
They are paying for this man to live. He got this little, what you call the pension from the presidency. But basically, these people out here, his followers, are paying for him to live the lifestyle that he's living, doing what he does.
And see,
sustaining his business and whatnot.
And they act
they
like,
paying for that.
Oh, He was given a big fat ass loan from his father, who was a racist, and that's
His father was crazy.
his way from zero. He was giving them. Everyone knows that. We know about what his grandfather was.
I mean, let's think. I want to post something to everybody. Maybe I can't hardly see what they write because I ain't got no glasses, and then it's still writing, still small. But I know it's touchy, but it's something that always nags me. The Bible, and what nags me the most is the people that translate it.
Yeah.
And how once that New Testament got put into there, once Jesus and all that and everything, and the New Testament came there, it seemed like the world events started leaning towards the New Testament.
Yeah.
Happening in accordance with the New Testament.
Yep.
I'm saying we got people, even though we think the president and them run everything, they don't. We got people behind the scenes that are really puppet masters.
Yeah.
You know, controlling everything. These wars, the prices, everything. They controlling everything. They are the 0.001% of the wealthiest people in the world, or something like that. The Rothschilds. People don't believe it, but they do exist. And these people are really calling the shots. For some reason, I feel like they are connected to this Bible, New Testament, and directing things into the way they want it to be. As far as wars and all this stuff, they are directing the Bible into that direction. I might be wrong. I might be silly and crazy as hell. I might be out of my mind. I don't know. That's just my thought. How do people feel about that? What do people feel about that?
Say the last part again. I'm sorry. I was
I might be out of my mind. I might be crazy as hell. I don't know. Is that the part you're talking about?
No, say that again. I missed the last part. Say the last part again.
I said I might be crazy and I might be out of my mind or something like that. I don't know.
No, before that. I ain't talking about you being crazy and out of your mind.
I said
No,
they
what
are.
was your question? You said, what do people feel about what? I'm
Yeah, what
sorry.
do people feel? How do people feel about this? The Bible for one, the New Testament for two, and how it may be possible for these puppet masters to be directing worldly events to coincide with the way they interpret it, the way that the Bible is translated. Because the Bible, as far as the New Testament, isn't the Bible. Because the Bible, as it was when it was in Ethiopia, and they got it to where they got it, most of that's been cut out. So you got a whole bunch of books that's cut out of that Bible to put in, then you're going to come with the New Testament.
You know,
so I'm just saying.
I've been saying that for the longest. You know what they call me? A demon,
crazy.
Everything else. I've been called crazy too. And I said, the facts are the facts. The funny thing, when I was locked up, I got lucky. I had asked the book guy to come around. I said, you got any old Bibles? And he said, yeah, I got an old one. I still got it. And he said, why? I said, there's some things I need to find out. So he went and got me old as hell. And my mother had always told me about the books that were out, not in there, like The Second Rule, Tobias. I can't pronounce that guy's name. Oh shoot. Anyway, there was a bunch of books. Oh shoot. Anyway, and I was like, dang, and when he gave me that Bible, it had those books in it. And I was like, why? I asked him, I said, yo, why were these books taken out? He said, because some people felt they didn't have any relevancy. And I was like, wait a minute. How can a man take books out of the Bible because he feels not relevancy? I said, and I remember the Bible said you shouldn't add nor remove anything from the Bible. And I didn't see my brother even got the Book of the Dead. And I read that too. And I was like, okay. And that made me question a lot more things. Cause I was a Muslim at the time. That made me question. I said, wait a minute, something's not adding up. So before I had got locked up, this Muslim brother called. I was in Charlotte. I was walking down the street. Guy walked up to me. He said, hey, what's up? And I was like, what's up? You know, I went in Islam. It's like 90 sometime, 94. And he said, you believe in Allah? And I was like, I was naive at the time. I was like, I don't believe in that stuff. I'm a Christian.
Right.
He said, tell me something about the Bible. And I was telling him, he said, what if I told you that's a lie? Of course, I'm like, nah, man. He said, okay. He said, I tell you what. He said, go home and read your Bible. He said, he said, sometime we're going to talk next year sometime. I'm like, all right. And I didn't see him for a while. I seen him about a year and a half later. He said, yo, what's up, brother? I said, yo, what's up, man? We talked. He said, you read the Bible? I said, yeah. He said, what did you find out? I was like, something's wrong with the New Testament. He said, nah. He said, there's nothing wrong with the New Testament. He said, they put that in there for a reason. When I got locked up, like right after I saw him, like maybe a month or two later, went to prison. I read the Bible twice, from cover to cover. I wrote notes, and I still have these notes, and sometime I'll put them on Facebook for y'all can read them. I put these notes down, and I can say I counted, I hadn't looked at them in a while, I counted about 200 errors that didn't make sense, contradictions that didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And then before any Christians say anything bad about me, these are the stuff that I read. This is what I read. It's not me. It's what I read.
Okay.
And I always ask this question to people. If people say God is Jesus in the flesh, why did he cry to God when they put him on the cross?
Mm.
And I could never get it straight. He said, my God, why have thou forsaken me? If he was God in the flesh, who was he crying to? When they asked, when the devil asked him, when is the time? He said, I don't know.
Right.
Only my Father in heaven knows. Now, if he's God in the flesh, why didn't he know? And I say, so if he was this guy on the cross, and when the woman in the garden went to touch, he said, don't touch me yet. I have not ascended to my Father.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't answer that question. And the last question that I was asking him, when he said in the book of John, 8th chapter, I think it's the 50th thing, he said, the 50th verse, this is what he said, not verbatim, but he said, you cannot see God. You cannot hear God. He is a spirit. And I said, well, if he said that, how come people say, women and men, I'm waiting for God to talk to me, when you can't hear him nor see him? When I read those things out of that Bible, in the New Testament, not the Old Testament, the New Testament, I left Christianity.
Really?
That's when I left. I say, well, if what I'm being taught is something different than what the Bible's saying, now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Bible is wrong. I think it's been corrupted.
Yeah,
I do believe that it's been corrupted.
Because
there's a lot of stuff in there that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of stuff actually happening that's in that Bible.
Yeah, I do think that the phrase for Paul's original question, I think the phrase like history repeats itself is really a thing. So I think and even and Paul said, people like, oh, we live in the last days because it was written out. So certain parts of that has not been changed. And I don't think you can. What can you change it to? Right. But I think still, like with anyone in the conversation that I get into, a lot of people, some people interpretation of Bible verses that they like to quote fits whatever their culture or narrative is.
Yeah.
Not to be negated. That's their perception, right? We can't tell anybody what to feel about their perception or anything like that. But when we reference the Bible and what's going on now, I think certain things are just inevitable. And that's also in like his teachings, like he creates your path. And that's all of us. So you have to walk in your purpose. What it is, you got to find out and pay attention to to the signs. Like a lot of times, a lot of us ignore certain signs that's right in front of us of, how they say the best words that's spoken are unspoken. That's the presence of God. Exactly. And that's when you get into, and that's why I tell people all the time, I'm highly spiritual. I'm not stupid when it comes to the word.
And see, and to make it clear, when I say I left Christianity, I'm not saying I left I didn't leave as a believer. I left Christianity.
Right.
That's it. but I'm not saying I'm not a believer.
Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. Yeah, a thing that got me about the thing with God being in Jesus and dying on the cross. So I'm trying to figure out. So part of God could die while part of him lived up in heaven, but the part of him on earth died, and the world, everything continued. Because if God is our sustainer, if he dies for even a millisecond of what, we are unsustained.
Right.
Yeah. That's why they say your body is a vessel. That's why I always believe in like the afterlife, that you.
Me too.
And it's a lot of things about ascension and ascending, and because your spirit
reincarnation,
lives. You know, they say your spirit lives forever. Now, where
Definitely
does your spirit
reincarnation.
go? We won't know until we experience it,
I believe
until we
reincarnation.
experience that realm. But I do believe that's a true testament. So who can say, anything? We just, we live
Who
and breathe and walk.
I'm gonna tell you what. This is my thing right here. These pastors have misled people for so long
Yeah.
Oh, we
with
going there.
misinformation. Huh?
Let's go
Oh,
there.
we about to go there.
Let's go there.
Okay.
I mean, because that's connected to what we're talking about as far as
Yeah,
the
let's
New
go.
Testament goes.
You good, Paul? Let's go
Because
there.
I'm,
Right. Let's
I'm
go.
trying I'm trying to
You
show you
just
how
call. It's your show.
Yeah.
now I'm just trying to show you how they how they leading people to the New Testament for what they really, if they really sit back and look. If you actually sit back and look, you will say, why? Why? And how did things decide to change right here from the Old Testament over to the New Testament? But yet still all that other stuff, like is missing out of there. It's missing.
Yeah.
What was going on before y'all came to the New Testament? Was the New Testament even really part of the Bible in the first place? That's the thing. The
Good
people
question.
that translated this Bible, you gotta realize they had a purpose.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man always has a purpose.
Oh yeah.
The bigger the purpose, the more secretive the plan or whatever you want to call it, however you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I'm saying these people are leading this country to Armageddon. Y'all call it the Civil War, but they're leading this country to Armageddon. It ain't got to be country against country. It can be person against person on the same ground again. It ain't got to be not Civil Wars then, but Armageddon because you fight evil against good. So what? Somewhat
Yeah.
evil against good or righteous against wrong.
Yeah.
Armageddon. People talk about Civil War, connect all this stuff. They are trying to lead this country to that. And then the new heaven or whatever they call the
Yeah.
great country will be there for them as they eradicate all the low lives, women that can't have babies and all this kind of stuff, or whatever they say.
It's repeating itself. Yep. Yep.
But
Yeah.
nobody's paying attention. I
And you
believe
know,
I believe this. I
I
believe
think
God.
people do pay
God.
attention. I think people are afraid of reality and truth. So I look at it to say like we always say, oh, we don't want to see, and a lot of times you ever notice when you try to have certain conversations with people, and if it gets too deep or too real to make you think about the reality of evolvement in life and things like that, people like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. People fear the unknown one, and people fear the truth of the possibility of what could be or what could happen. A lot of people don't want to deal with anything until they're faced with it. So if they're not faced with it in this time of day, they don't want to worry about it, consume it, or it's like they look at it as a negative instead of being aware, so that when it does hit you, you know what to do. So we like come up with a plan, you know what I mean, or something. Some things you just can't come up with, but have the conversation. And I
so
told
Jude,
you. So I think a lot of times, I think it's more so fear of the unknown, and sometimes people just can't handle the truth. But who's to say what the truth is? Because when it comes to things of that nature, we're all pretty much speculating.
yeah,
Because even when it comes to the differences of the Bibles, the differences of all of these things, the realms, and no matter what your practice is, that's your interpretation, that's your
yeah,
perception. Because
yeah,
when you really think about the certain things, it's all about perception. Like I said, we can all read the same book and have a different perception of the book that we read. Like you may see something that I didn't see. That's why when people have book clubs, that's what they do. What did you think? and it invites a different conversation. But certain conversations, a lot of us, especially within certain communities and people who think things just don't stink because they want to live this grand life and not have a worry in the world, they're not going to have those conversations. And it's unfortunate in a way, but then it's like you got to let people be and be in the reality realm that they want to be in.
You know what? That's why I always, when I do talk to people, I always say, your destiny and my destiny are not the same. We might be headed towards the same, wherever, but I just don't think that, like, how your path to wherever may not be my path,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's why when I say I love Christianity, because when I was in Islam, what I learned was, and this is not the hateful guys, that they accept the Bible. Even people who say no, traditional Muslims, Sunnis accept the Bible in its earliest form,
Mm-hmm.
to where Christians don't really get down with the Old Testament, and the Jews don't really get down with the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you got two factions that read the same book but don't agree with the different sections. To where in Islam, they say if you don't accept the Bible, you can't accept Islam. Because what people don't know, people say, oh, that Muslims pray to Muhammad. No, they don't. Muslims see Jesus as the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell a Christian that. But Jews know that.
Yep.
But Christians don't believe that. And that's where the disconnect is. My path, like I know
And
I
a
got
lot
it.
of, not to cut you off, a lot of religions, when you hear like the preachers, bishops, or whatever speak,
Mhm.
they always call them the Messiah. So a
Messiah.
lot of things are linked across the religion.
In Islam, he's called
Yes,
Al-Masi.
they all do agree on the Book of Revelations. Jesus, correct.
Yeah.
That's the book that you because you can't, like, for real. How do you rewrite the Book of Revelations?
It's kind of hard.
You can't.
It's kind
These
of hard.
people, these people are so,
You
these
can't.
people are so ingenious. But hold up,
Mhm.
it might not have to be rewritten. They could have written it as they so-called translated. You gotta realize these people had an agenda when they. When was this Bible discovered? When did it come about? What? I mean, who discovered it? Who translated it?
Mhm.
But certain parts are not taught though too. Think about it. When people have like Bible studies and things like that, certain parts of the Bible, certain religions don't touch.
But
Um,
see, that's why you can't be
let's go back
religious.
to Good Times. Remember on Good Times when Michael had Black Jesus
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he told Florida and he
But
pulled
that,
out
that
the
episode was
Bible, the
definitely.
description of Jesus.
Mhm.
How many churches or how many religions have you heard of quote that part of the Bible?
Right. And you know something, Coco? That's why of all the popes that were out there, I respected Pope John Paul II,
Hmm.
because in his office he had a picture of a black Jesus,
But you
and
know
he's
the
like,
first pope was black.
the first pope was black.
Yeah. But look at what they got did.
And you know they took it off the internet, right? You know that you can't
Mhm.
Google because
You
at
can't
one
Google it no
time,
more.
because I told you that's when my son they tried to put my son out of school when he was
Hmm.
in going into middle school, and I had to go up there and get his little ass
I
because I
gotta, I
had
gotta.
him watching the what you calls, and that's what they were talking about like religion. Like I don't know how the Pope came up,
Hmm.
but he argued with the teacher because he learned it
Yeah,
from watching what was it called, like Hidden Colors or whatever,
Hidden Colors.
that
Yeah.
that series. So I, I had to minimize him watching it because he was challenging because he went to a
Yeah.
predominantly white school,
Hmm.
and no shade to nobody, but when they tried to talk, he told them it was like Black History Month. That's what it was, and he was like, "You can't teach me."
You know
And
something?
I agree with him. I had my son back, but and he had and I pulled it up for them. It was on Google.
Yeah.
Take out your phone right
I
now
remember you
and
telling
Google
me.
the
You
first
told me about
and
that.
Google
Yeah.
the first pope. It's nowhere to be found.
You can't
So
find
what
it.
can be erased? That's why I say the best thing to have is
Mhm.
an actual book. We
How many
use
times have I said that,
Google
Coco?
to people be like, even in school, they be like, go ahead, research it. It's so online. Wiki is not
You
reliable
gotta go
Wikipedia
to the
because
library.
I can go on there and alter that.
You
And
gotta go
then
to the
certain
library.
things they pull
Hmm.
what they don't want you to know and put what they do want you to know.
Coco.
So even still down to, I'm sorry,
No, no, you good.
but like I watch House of Dragons, right?
Yeah.
So they had these different like fan pages. So Adam is black.
Yeah.
And Sea Smoke claimed Adam, the black guy. So they made this big spectacle on one of these pages that was like, no, the real image of him. Okay, book reader.
Yeah.
You want to say this was the image in the book? This what we got on here. So then when he black, you know what I mean? So it's always going to be that perception of thing, because some people took out of the book that he was black. So I'm reordering the books because I'm gonna reread the books now. I gotta reread it to get my own perception of this, because we actually, it's crazy how positions of power and superiority. No, I just said that whole word wrong. Positions of power. We're gonna stick with that because I ain't even gonna try it again. So when we when people want to be the superior race,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, we will go back and forth, black, white, who, you know what I mean, or whatever. That goes back to biblical times.
Yep.
Think about it. That's why they crucified Jesus in them disciples.
You know something, Coco? This might have been around 2003,
Yeah.
2002. They had an art contest. Pope John Paul was still living. They had an art contest, and the black kid. I got the article. I'm gonna try to post it tomorrow. Just remind me. He posted a black Jesus, best picture in the competition. They gave it to a white kid. The Pope himself took that picture and put it in his office. He said, "This is the depiction of Jesus." I'm gonna post the article. He himself, he said, "This is the depiction of Jesus." And it was so much outrage. I got it from the USA Today. I kept the article. There was so much outrage about that. That's why I always respected Pope John Paul II, because he kept it 100. They tried to kill him, couldn't do it. Shot him twice. He still lived. And see, like that's why I keep reiterating. I said I left Christianity, but I didn't leave as an unbeliever. I'm still a believer, because when I was a Christian, and this is not bashing all Christians, but when I was a Christian, I was an arrogant SOB. You couldn't tell me shit, nothing. I didn't want to hear nothing from this person. I didn't want to hear nothing from that person. You couldn't tell me nothing. And then I realized, and I'm not bashing Christians. Anyone's a Christian watching this, I am not bashing Christians. I'm just saying I left Christianity because I was like, I don't have to categorize myself as whatever. They said, okay, why'd you call yourself a Muslim? I said, a Muslim is someone who believes. It's a believer in God. That's basically what it translates to. One who believes. It's not saying you believe in this God or that God. It just saying one who believes. That's why when Muslims talk to Christians, that's why Muslims talk to Christians or whoever, they say you're a Muslim too, because you're a believer. They're not saying you're believing in Islam. They say you're a believer. And people get, I'm not a Muslim. It just means you're a believer. And people take it serious. Now, I don't claim a denomination. Like I said, I'm more spiritual. And what I was going to get to, I had a conversation not long ago with a Christian guy. He got mad at me. Well, a bunch of them, actually. Because I was in a little weird religious where they kicked me out of the group. They kicked me out of the group. This is why. I said, I've spoken to my mother on the other side. I said, I spoke to my brother on the other side. I said, when my mother passed away, I spoke to him. No way you did. I said, I spoke to my brother on the other side. They said, how? I said, I spoke to my brother on the other side. I told him the whole situation happened. I said, and he told me things. I said, when my mother passed away, I spoken to her a few times. They said, how? I said, I don't know. I said, I just remember one time I talked to my mother. She told me some things that was going on in my life. And I was walking her to an elevator, and she said, you can't come with me right now. You have to go back. And each time I talk to her, I always talk to her some way, and she tells me, you have to leave. You can't stay here. It's not your time. You have to leave. She'll live at a house. Knock on the door. Hey, mom, blah, 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 blah. And she'll talk to me. She said, you have to go.
Yeah.
And every time I leave, I wake up. She said, it's not time for you. You can't stay here. And she has told me things that actually happened. And even with my niece, like my niece would tell you, if she come online, When she passed away, we both, me and her, got a phone call. See, I wish she can come on. Me and her both got a phone call from the same number. We called it back and got no answer. The phone picked up and it was silent. Then we called back and the number was like, this number doesn't exist. Me and her got the same phone call at the same time. She said, is someone called you from there? I said, yeah. She said, when you call back, what happened? I said, nothing. I didn't hear anything. I don't even think it rang. She said the same thing. And because she always kind of favored me and my niece, Morena. And they got mad and said, no, that's not but the devil. You was talking to the devil. I said, well, that's the devil. Then why did she tell me something that happened for me to look out for?
The devil ain't going to let you wake up.
Huh?
The devil ain't going to
exactly. And she kept telling me, you have to leave. You have to leave. I'll see you again.
And if you see the devil, then something is wrong. Your spirit has been tainted.
Right. And they kicked me out the group when I said they were arguing me. Well, we're all dead until da 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 da. I said, maybe that's not really true. I said, maybe we all have our own path. No. This is what the Bible said. And I said, well, show me then. But tell me, I said, how we got the same path? We don't have the same path. I said, what about those people over the Singly Island who don't know nothing about Christianity? Are they going to hell because they don't know? I said, people who never know anything about the Bible. I said, you can't say that. Mm-hmm. And they boot me from the group because I didn't agree with it. Just because of that. And I said, you don't have to call yourself. Nowhere in the Bible does it say you have to call yourself a Christian. It doesn't say that. Jesus never said the only way you get to heaven is if you're a Christian. He never said that. He said, I am the Christ. Yeah. That's it. The Christ, Christo, Greek, the one who is chosen. That's what it is. See, Christ wasn't his name, that was his title. The one who was chosen. He was Jesus of Nazareth. I'm not saying I'm a scholar, but I know a little bit of Greek. And I know Christ is Christo in Greek. And that means one who's chosen. That was his title. The one who was chosen.
Okay, Paul, what else you got? Because you about to have Boscoe preaching.
No, I'm not done. And I don't hate Christians. Let me get that out there. I'm just going by what I read, what I learned. That's all.
I think all religions are respectable within their own thing. I wouldn't. Yeah. That's never the thing. But I think there's also I don't think there's anything wrong with questions for understanding. I don't think there's anything wrong with questions for guidance.
Let me say one more thing before Paul starts. And it's about the abomination thing. Now they say, and I'm not condoning anything. Let me get that out there. I'm not condoning nothing.
You always do that before you condone it. Go ahead and say
I'm not condoning it. But this is in defense.
What you trying to say? You not
this
condoning?
This is in defense of the gay community. Now I'm not saying I agree with it. You live your life.
Next week we're not talking about them people. Just so you know.
No. This is a positive. This is a positive. I'm not saying I agree with it, but if you're happy, you're happy. But homosexuality, and I'm not condoning it, it's not the only abomination in the Bible. There's 25 more. It's just people seem to pick that one. It's an abomination.
But is it?
It is. It's 25 more.
Who said it?
It's in the Bible.
Which one?
All of them.
The first one?
Yeah. Any text you read, it's in there. They name them. In the Old Testament. They're in there. For real. NIV, RSV, King James, Vulgate.
Because that's been going on since biblical times.
But they're all in there. Even talking behind someone's back is considered an abomination.
How what?
Talking behind someone's back, backbiting. That's an abomination in the Bible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But people pick and choose what they want to choose. But talk behind someone's back, backbiting is an abomination.
Oh, we all going to hell. That's why
bearing false witness. Bearing false witness. It's an abomination. And these are abominations before homosexuality. As even mentioned.
But
I'm not condoning it, y'all. I'm letting you know I ain't condoning it. I'm just saying. I don't know what's gay. No, I didn't.
So now you say we all going to hell.
Oh, I didn't say that.
No. I was talking about. I think Coco just said we all going to hell.
Judge anybody. I just tell anybody live your life. And no person that can judge you when you get to them gates. Because I know when I get there, he gonna stop me at the door. He gonna be like, "Hold up."
You ain't let me get off the bus.
I'm saying, like, I wasn't saying that in a bad way. I wasn't saying that in a bad way, Coco. I'm saying you said that the backbiting, we all gonna go to hell. I'm saying, but we already in hell here on earth because we all waiting to die to get to heaven.
That's what I think. That's the same thing I feel, Paul.
Because they got people talking about, well, I'm ready to go meet Jesus and I'm going to have a better life. Who taught you that shit? Who is teaching y'all? Why do you have to die to enjoy? You got to die to enjoy
better life.
living.
Okay,
but
so let's talk about perception. That's actually a good conversation right there. Right. Now, when we think about it, who is saying this and what is their circumstance? Now, some people feel like when they die, they're going to be at peace, and that could be because they're going to be with the Lord or whatever. Nobody knows where their body is going to transition to, or whatever. We don't know, right? Until we get there. However, I think that's when your faith comes in, and most people who are religious and who are spiritual, you believe you're going to the afterlife, wherever that may be. You just feel like it would be more joyous here, like you just said, hell on earth, right? To a person who may be troubled or may be going through something, that may be a paradise. That may be something they're looking forward to, because right here just ain't right. So sometimes when I think people who make those statements, I think that another question that could be is, what's wrong? You know what I mean? And sometimes some people just need a little something. You know what I mean? So it could be their perception of this is better than here. And like we say it all the time. Shit, we don't know if Venus and Mars and them gonna be cool. All we know is we want to get the fuck away from Earth because it's ghetto. We telling the aliens to come and get us. We don't know what we gonna walk into when we get there. Then that's the same thing to look at, but it's just a different analogy of the situation.
Okay. So now, let's not put it in the perspective of dying.
Okay.
Let's put it in perspective of living.
Okay.
And not just with bad stuff going on. I mean, your everyday life. You can't hardly pay your bills. That's a problem. That's really hell. You can't hardly afford groceries. That's hell. You can't get a good job that pays you what you're worth. That's hell. I mean, all various kind of ways of hell on earth. Now, it ain't got to be something that's drastic. I'm saying hell on earth. We are living in hell.
Yeah, but some people live in drastic situations.
Yeah, my situation been drastic. So I should be one of the most hateful ass people in this world to really think about it. I really should. Because you got to understand, my dad, he was killed when I was 4 in a car wreck, they say. Then somebody say he might got hit in the head down in the country, down there in Rednecksville, down there in Rutherford, down the road from us. Okay. At 9, well, first my first stepfather, he was killed in Vietnam in '69. At 9, I witnessed his sister, my aunt, take me with her to kill her boyfriend. She done shot him in the stomach as he sat there on the couch. Well, he laid on the couch in his girlfriend's lap. She shot him in the stomach. He died. They put me on the stand down in Alabama. This happened in Alabama. So I'm traumatized being on the stand then, but nobody pays attention to this. I'm just a regular little black boy going on about life. So that was at 9. So 2 years later now, my mom was killed. 11 years later, my sister's killed. Let me see. A few years later after that, Kelby, my great nephew, he was killed by his best friend. Then a year after that, my great nephew was in a car that went off the overpass. So I'm saying, I should be one of the most miserable, bitterest people in the world, because everything that I have held dear on this earth, as far as my family, has been taken away. And they wasn't taken away with death. They were taken away by murder.
Right.
So I should be a bitter person, but I'm not, because that's the God in me. Not the God about these pastors and all them preaching about. Because I believe God is in all of us. Like I said a minute ago,
Yeah.
greater is He that is in us than he who is in the world. I believe that with all my heart. And I always say the God in me. I always say God morning to everybody. God morning, people. Good
And
morning.
listen,
And
Let's see what God morning.
I think that's a lot. Let me just start with that. That's a lot. Um, but let me give you another spectrum, right? That is a
Mm-hmm.
lot, and I'm not taking away from that at all, right? So let's just say what you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not going to use names or anything like that. Let me ask you this: do you have a roof over your head?
Yes.
Do you have food on the table?
Sometimes when I decide to eat.
Okay. Um, are you able to go to the bathroom when you want, like, and flush your toilet?
Now sometimes I be constipated. So it's me.
But you have a
Sometimes I
bathroom that
want to
you
go and can't go. But now I know what you're saying. But yeah, you got
okay.
stuff to balance stuff out.
So what I'm saying to you is, imagine a person. Just picture this. Everything that you've been through, you have some type of light, right? And when I say
Mm-hmm.
light, because you have certain basic things of needs. That imagine a person who's been through losing their whole family, right? And maybe been abused by a family, right? Nowhere to go, no toilet to flush, no type of income, don't know where the next meal is coming from, being judged, holding on to the same way like you, a lifetime of hurt, despair, and everything like this, and they just outside. Who do you think should be? Would you say you got it better or worse, or do you think you have a blessing to count? And these people get up every day and persevere through that and carry that, and will still come into an office and put a smile on everybody's face.
We all okay.
No, no, no.
They know. Hold up, hold up,
Answer
hold
me
up.
that first. Who do
I'm
you
giving.
think?
I'm
What
giving an
person
answer.
do you think should
I'm
be
giving an answer.
right?
I was giving an answer that for you, but I was giving to start out with. We all. We all have our own crosses to bear.
Mm-hmm.
So now, my situation might not be as bad as theirs because my cross was a whole lot different.
Mm-hmm.
Their cross is being bared with them through things that happen as adult. My cross is being carried from mine as a child.
No, that's what I'm talking about as a child. That's what I'm
As a
saying. From
child,
all the way up.
I
This
don't know.
I'm
Like
talking about not
I
having
thought
nowhere
about,
to go from
I
childhood.
thought about dying as a kid. I thought about dying as a kid. I
Yeah.
didn't think people did. I didn't think people lived to be out their 20s. Cause my
Right.
mom was killed at 20. My
That's
sister killed at 20. My dad was killed at 20.
I felt
I
the
didn't.
same way.
My aunt, she killed her boyfriend. She was about 20 years old. I
Mm-hmm.
thought life ended at 20.
Right.
So what? I figured my time was coming soon. So yeah,
No,
you talking
and I
about
get
seeing
that.
light. I never
So,
did think about seeing no light. I was always expecting to die. I'm surprised
but you
I,
also
I
you have a lot of grief. I would say definitely I would look into, if I was you, consider maybe like grief counseling, something like that. But what I guess I'm trying to portray to you is, a lot of times, some days I feel the same way, right? Like you do. Like, oh, da 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 da. And then, you know how they always say someone's situation is worse than yours, and sometimes
Mhm.
we're blessed in ways that we don't understand.
Right.
And I think what I'm trying to portray to you, without negating what your experiences are, is that it could be a hell of a lot worse. I promise you, because I see it every day. And the same way I'm talking about, from birth on up, the you have you have something that people wish that they would have, and you have a strength, right? And that's what everybody see, is that you have a strength, you made it through. Granted, you have those experiences, those thoughts, and all of that, right? But you also have some blessings on top of that, because you have people that you don't know, like us, that care about you and that love you to death. But you have some people that, you know how you just got cussed out by your peoples? You have some people that wish they could, because it's just them out here in this world with all of
Okay,
this
so hold
stuff.
on. So now you're talking about now.
No,
Okay, so
I'm
now
just
yeah.
talking about general. I'm just saying, no, not
Okay,
now. I'm just saying you
because,
have people that in similar
because
situations or worse that just wish they could, even if it's just something like that, could have some type of interaction or engagement with a person. But all they doing is walking around with trauma.
you know,
I'm just trying to give you a highlight to think of. Maybe I get it, but sometimes we gotta do like
but
a
you can't
pros and
compare these
cons.
people's trauma of today with my trauma of my childhood. You can't compare them to them two different
I'm not
things.
trying to.
But no,
I'm trying to get you to look at
you saying
what you
by
can be thankful for.
okay, I'm thankful that I'm still here after all I've been through. But I'm saying, as far as the trauma that I lived through as a child and what they going through now as being homeless and all that stuff, I'm still gonna say my childhood was worse because no child should have to grow up without their parent. No child should have to be put on a damn witness stand at 9 years old in front of a room full of white folks and be damn near prosecuted yourself because you testifying.
Right.
No child should have to be accused of robbing somebody when they didn't. When you've been letting us come in the house getting money and pork chops all damn summer long, but we come around there and find a damn toolbox full of money, and your mama find it missing. Now we done broke into your house and robbed you with a knife. So no
Mhm.
child should be subjected to that and had to go to training school behind that. No child should be with a group of guys, 5 of y'all to be exact, and you the only one that goes to prison and everybody else gets probation. No
Mhm.
child should be subjected to kind of stuff like that.
You're
At
right.
16 years old. I'm saying my life from as long as I can remember, my life has been trauma. Yes, I made it through because I didn't know how to quit. I wanted to,
Mhm.
but I didn't know how to quit.
Mhm.
You know something, Paul? And you know what? I agree with you because see, that's how I feel. Like why? Like my mother was probably and I'm not saying this because she's my mother. My mother probably was the most righteous person I knew, and I watched her for 6 years just deteriorate. She did everything she could for everyone, and I took care of her for 6 years, from 2013 to 2019. I mean 2013 to 2019 till she passed away,
Mhm.
and I watched her just go down, go down. And I kept saying, Lord, please take my mother.
Can
Why
I ask
am I
you a
watching her suffer?
question?
And oh yeah, let me say one more thing. Also, my issue with people within the Bible is this: in the book of Psalms, I think book of Proverbs, it tells us, "Ye are gods." Why, when you tell a person you are God, the God
Mhm.
is in you, they tell you, no, 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 when the Bible specifically says that.
No, I got a different question
But
for both of
I'm
y'all.
with Paul on that. To be honest with you,
No, I am too, but I don't think I'm communicating it correctly.
mm-hmm.
So I hear trauma, I hear you, I have it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Right.
think how we deal with the trauma
Mm-hmm.
and how we navigate it. I can say my trauma been worse than the both of y'all's, right? That
Right.
fair? Is that fair though? Right?
It probably is for you.
Right.
Right,
But I'm just saying, but I can't say what I feel through mine is worse than yours, right?
right.
But I think the only thing that I'm trying to communicate is one, in these situations, I think this is where we should have the conversation about mental health awareness because trauma is one. And therapy, counseling, and all those things are helpful for things like that because I'm hearing you, and that's a lot holding in throughout life, right? Well, I think what I was trying to get you to understand is sometimes even through trauma, we have to at some point see, yeah, I did it, and look back and see where you overcame. I think I'm trying to give you the analogy of a person who is still persevering with nothing, whereas though we can all say, and it's not negating anything. Like I can say mine is worse, right? And somebody can say, oh, well, you do this for a living, you got a career, you going to school, you doing this, and say oh, because you're doing all right, right? You don't know what that person go through internally. Okay, granted, cool, that's fine. And then throughout that, and with therapy and everything else, I can say I could have been a lot worse. And I think from experience, I've seen what a lot worse looks like. And even though we may feel at our worst,
Mhm.
it's not as bad as it could be, because it could be a hell of a lot worse than we really think it is. But I think that's also a part of, we can eat all the right foods and do all the right things, but if we don't take care of our mental, it gets really clouded, where so we can't appreciate the blessings that we do have, and then we start to break down these other things, or we don't see it, or we can also block blessings. And I just use that because you do have people who have a lot of trauma, a lot of things that don't have nothing, and any type of engagement is not there, right? So I think that's the only thing I'm trying to just say is like, throughout all of that, there are some bright lights. So maybe kind of look to that,
Mhm.
but also find ways to get your mental a little bit more healthy,
Mhm.
so that that doesn't cloud everything, where as though you miss what you're truly blessed for. And we always talk about purpose and all of those things. I see yours,
Mhm.
because you're very supportive. There are a lot of good, and I don't even know you like that, but I can run off a list of great things about you that I see just from interaction, right? Some people aren't on it to have that.
That's why I said I could be
So
a
that's,
very bitter person, but I'm
yeah,
not.
that's right.
I didn't mean
And
to
that's
cut you off.
right.
Forgive me. But see, I'm saying you got to realize back in the 60s and 70s, the back then wasn't no counseling, nobody to talk with about your problems, what you're going through. Not as a black kid.
Mhm.
There was none of that. You had to suck it up and go on with your life. Understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Understand? We over in West Germany. I say my prayers with my mom at night. The next
Mhm.
morning, I go to school. Get out of school, we can't get back in the house. Had to spend the night with some neighbors. Then the next morning, a chaplain come and say, "Well, your mom is going to heaven." So I see my mom alive one night. The next day, she's dead. Trauma. But nobody said, "Well, damn, let's talk to these kids." No, let's fly their ass right on back across to the United States and send them on back home with their grandparents. The granddad don't want us there because we're gonna get in the way of his damn liquor house. People coming in the liquor house and stuff, so he really don't want us there. But my grandma said, no, they gonna be here. So we there. So all of us in a doggone 1 bedroom house, and we sleeping in a bunk bed. Me and my two sisters, we sleep on the bunk bed with a sheet between us while the liquor house is going on, and everybody in there drinking and carrying on and stuff. Trauma. But nobody talks to me about this. Oh, he's good, they good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My life has been trauma. It's not. I'm not trying to compare it to nobody else. I just know it's been hell for me.
Right. Right.
Straight hell.
So
But
would
like
you
you said, you see my
consider?
purpose. My purpose is to try to make sure that other people don't have to go through that. The homeless people you talking about, we working with them, trying to get stuff done with them too. That's my
No,
purpose.
but I'm
You know, my
asking you
purpose
about
is to try to
you.
help people.
Would you be
My,
open to? Because I think it would be. I'm not saying do it. I'm saying think about it. If you haven't, just think about it,
Mhm.
because
y'all
what
just gave
I'm
me therapy here tonight. What I need to go be seeing, talking to somebody else. I've talked to y'all. I talked to my people.
Free yourself.
I talk to
because
y'all more than I talk to
I'm
people
gonna
around
say,
here.
because the beauty of therapy, right,
You
is
know,
you gain tools that when you have moments, your reaction may be different, right? We all have moments, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely okay. But in certain moments that you may experience, they can give you certain tools that you can do to help you cope, maneuver, and go through all that way as though you feel a little lighter. And then it's also another outlet, right? So all I'm saying is utilize it. It's available. You have insurance. It's
of
under
course.
your insurance coverage. Utilize it. Get it. You would greatly benefit from it. And I really think that extra outlet will be helpful, mainly for the because grief is crazy, and grief does not have an expiration date. Trust me. So, and I mean, because you lost a lot of people. One, you've gone through a lot. Like you said, you have a lot of trauma on top of that. That's two. There's some PTSD going on. That's three. Why would you not take advantage of that? It could be help. I'm not saying do it. What I'm saying is think about it, right? Just think
It's,
about
you know what? It was hard enough for me to talk with y'all. I'm not going out here talking to these people I don't know.
it.
I
Okay.
feel like I know y'all and I can trust y'all. That's why I open up to y'all. I do not talk to people right here, even some of the people I know. So no, I'm
Okay.
not going. I thank you for your suggestion. If I feel like I might need somebody to talk to, I'll come right here to casual convo and talk to my people right here, or I'll talk to my nephew. But I'm not going to talk to nobody. I tend. We got groups and stuff. I tend that stuff too. But as far as going out here talking to people that I don't know, hell no, 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 no.
Okay.
That's the way I was raised. I can't apologize to it. I'm a child of the '60s. That's just the way I was raised.
Okay.
No.
Well, can you think about one thing for me then?
What's that?
Remember we was talking about writing.
I think about that because, like I said, I started writing. I was going to write a book, and I got about
Your
five
life
paragraphs.
is
And I
a book.
stopped. And I stopped.
Write it. Write it. I even help you. Write it.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Write it. It's writing is therapeutic. I promise you. Just try for one day and tell me how you feel.
Okay.
It is. Right. I'll tell you. Write it. Just write it. Right. While you recouping from your procedure, get your little pen because you're ADD. Go ahead, you chilling and you just get some paper, a little, and write. And it don't have to make sense. It don't have to be perfect. When you it could be a happy moment. Don't just so what I would suggest, not just in a moment of when you feeling some type of way and you want to fuck some shit up. When you having a happy moment, a mellow moment, any moment that you have, write it. And then it could be 6 months or a year from now. That could be a reflection to how far you come. And then it also make you think about some things that you may want to do, like some goals you want to achieve, in a certain amount of time. Write it. And then you can see if you've done it or if not. And then that I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with having an outlet. And sometimes you don't want to talk to nobody. Fine, I get it. I don't be want to talk to nobody either. But writing is amazing. And it ain't gotta be legible, long as you can read it.
Well, that's a heck of a thing to say.
I'll tell you, it only needs to make sense to
This,
you.
can you see this right here? Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That is my therapy as well as far as writing because I get into crossword puzzles.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
word.
not
That's
bad.
what I do.
This is
That's what I do. That's why I'm such a wordsmith, I guess, that people can't understand, don't comprehend what I be writing. And I gotta fall back from that some, but it's hard to do because I'm not gonna apologize for my love of reading and learning.
Mm-hmm. You're not
oh
supposed
hell
to.
no. Unapologetic. Hell no.
But I thank you for
No.
that. I'm taking your advice, and I like I said, I used to write back and forth, and still got the little book right here I was writing in, so I might get back to doing it.
That's how you do it. I'm gonna call and check
See,
on you,
that's
see if
why
you
we
did it too.
oh,
You right,
Okay,
yeah. That's how I'm gonna be. She might.
thank you, thank
Bosco,
y'all,
you got
thank
anything
y'all.
else you want to add? Cause the fuck,
that's why we're the casual
huh?
combo show. I said that's why we're the casual combo show.
Oh, well, Bosco
We're
got a
not
little
like
bit of
every other
hair. He
show.
done got too slick for me. I can't.
See, that's why we are unlike other podcasts. Bring in here, we talk
Yeah.
about it. We're the casual combo show. We have conversations. Yeah, that. I
Yeah.
can't. I
But
can
I'm
never
just saying,
remember it.
just saying. Also, like I said, when you feeling like down and low, just look around. You're pleased and know that you're blessed. Because just think, there's several people, a lot of people that don't have that. And that's a high, right? That's all I'm trying to say.
All right.
Peace. I hear you.
Spoken like the
I'm trying to tell
therapist.
you.
I hear you.
Put that degree to work. I said, put that degree to work.
Messing with Paul, he gonna be my first month.
Okay, well, you gotta start somewhere.
No, but I do. I mean, I know we gotta go. Just real quick, but I do like to. Not saying use that for an example.
That hour went so
I
fast.
like to use.
Dang.
I don't want to say like this type of work, whatever that I do, but I think is really symbolic because. And then sometimes when you meet people from different walks of life, you don't realize how much we sometimes take for granted. Right? That was the only thing that I wanted. And then I think sometimes, and even me when I get in my moments, I have to look around and be like, what you get it together. You know what I mean? It could be worse than this. And and there's people that is worse than what we all have up here that sometimes put a smile on my face. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be doing that for what I mean? For you. And that's why I said I get it, the perseverance, I could be, but I'm not. And it's like I've heard some stories that I'm like, how are you still standing? Because I will buckle and I know I would. So that's why I only said that to say like there are some people don't have some lights but make it, and I think it's just important, just like I said, when you feel some type of way, look around and be like, I got this. All right, it could be a little bit worse. This was a little something, and you're gonna push through, and then you're gonna write. You're gonna push through, and then you're gonna write, and then you're gonna flick that light, and it's gonna come on. Some people can't do that when you turn your key. Some people can't do that when you flush your toilet. Some people can't do that when you brush your teeth. Just know, even through all of that, this is something that you were blessed with that many don't have, and will swap with you in a heartbeat. So, yeah, that's all I got. So I just wanted to say that. But right, please.
That second hour just went so
It's
fast.
Paul up here
It
cussing me
don't feel
out.
like we had a second. No, but it don't. It really didn't feel like. I know we got to go, but it didn't feel like an hour. It felt like 30 minutes, man. That hour.
Could never curse you out.
Anyway,
We feel a little bit better though.
I feel a whole lot better now. That's why I was looking forward to the show. That's why I said thank God y'all back this week. Cause like I said, I was ready to go to war with these people, even though they don't know me like that. Because I mean, well, already. We didn't discuss it, but yeah. So I'm a whole lot better now. My mind is in a better place. Thank you. I think everybody is on the cast with us tonight because they didn't get a chance to really hear y'all get into something else. And I just bogart the show, but I love you all. J Bear, Jude, all y'all.
Look here. We bring the topics. Y'all bring the topics, and we talk about it. That's what the show is about. It's about the community. It's about the people.
Really?
It's
Well,
about how
we're going to do open discussion part 2 next week, and we were supposed to do
yeah. Anyway, let me close the show. Before I close the show, visit handradio.org/shop. Get your hats, get your shirts, get your hoodies, because getting ready to get cold. I hate it. So you're going to need a hoodie, get a shirt to put under it, get a hat to put on your head. handradio.org/shop. Oh, the colors are dope too. Thank you for Paul, our guest, because he does this thing. That's the king right there. Let it be known. Thanks for J Bear, Jude, my crush Fallon, who she better be available when I come up and see her. There's so many people joining in. I need to scroll down. But everyone who my man Richie, I can't forget about Richie. Mike Taylor, thanks for tuning in. Everyone tuned in. Check me out from 6 to 8 p.m. on handradio.org, playing all the music. Sorry for slacking off with my flyer, y'all. I'll be back next week to give more advertisement. Check me out from 10 to 12, Monday and Wednesday on handradio.org. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, everywhere. Just Google Casual Combo KK. Casual Combo Show. We had a conversation. For King Paul, for myself, Boscoe from the Bronx, And for Rich in the back, doing the boards. And for the host, Coco, we are out to next week. Peace, love, and soul.
That wasn't peace. That
out.
was X.
Don't let me say the other word. We out of here, y'all. Anyways.